Devlin was introduced to me yesterday by a friend at Multimedia, and Devlin was born 90% blind. She has a hearing impairment. She's mute. She's autistic. And a few months ago, she was diagnosed with hole in heart. And this letter here is from the National Cardiothoracic Center, signed by Professor Frank Edwin. He's a consultant cardiothoracic surgeon. That's the letter on your screen. And it says that ventricular septal defect with right ventricular outflow tract obstruction. Basically, this girl has hole in heart, and the doctor is writing to help us raise $9,000 to cure or repair this defect. The cost of the surgery, anesthesia, intensive care, and ward stay, etc., is a city equivalent of $9,000. Kindly direct payment to the National Cardiothoracic Center. And so tonight, I am hosting Devlin Effa York, who is a child, 8 years old, born autistic, born 90% blind. She cannot hear. She's mute. And now, to worsen matters, she's been diagnosed with hole in heart. And so if I'm here tonight, I'm just appealing to all of you to help me raise $9,000 for little Devlin here. And her mother, Dorcas Evelyn York, is here with me as well. You'd be wondering why she's in black. A couple of months ago, she lost her husband. She's a prisons officer, and she's here tonight to help me raise $9,000 to save her child. So you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Dorcas. Your daughter is 8 years old.
Yes.
Okay. And how have you cared for her all this while? I mean, I know parents who have children with autism, and they do it happily. They accept their children and they do it happily. How have you fared with yours?
It is not easy. It is not as easy at all. But with the help of God, we are doing it small.
And you delivered her where? In Accra?
No, Kumasi Ankasi Hospital.
Ankasi Hospital,
yes.
8 years ago?
Yes.
And you were told that this child could not see?
After 2 weeks, she couldn't open the eye. So she opened the eye and we saw a cataract on both eyes.
Okay.
So we sent her to the hospital and she was diagnosed blind.
Okay. Did they tell you what caused this?
They say it's German measles.
Okay, so if the camera can just focus on her for me. So this is the little girl we are talking about, Devlin here, 8 years old. Come here. No? Okay, that's fine. So she's 8 years old, and so you had a bout of German measles, and that is what caused all of this, the blindness, the hearing impairment, the muteness, and the autism as well. And then the hole in heart. How did you take all of this?
It was not easy. It was not easy at all. It was not easy. First, it was the eye. So after the eye operation, then we saw that she couldn't hear and speak. So we sent her to the hospital again. And
the same Ankasi clinic?
No.
Okay.
Kolobu. We went to Kolobu.
Okay.
So they diagnosed her and they come out that it was not,
okay, so if we can have the camera focus more on her, the story is not about the mother, it's the child. And so she's not in school?
She went to school about 4 years ago. She went for about 3 years. But the school fees is 3,000 a term and we couldn't afford.
Which school was this?
That was a Silver Peak Academy at Medina.
Okay. 3,000 cedis a term. Okay, but you couldn't take her to any other school. This was a special school.
A special school.
Oh, it's a special, of course, with her condition. You need a special school
for her.
And so, since age 3, she's been out of school.
No, last year.
Last year?
She started 4 years ago.
Okay.
She went for about 3 years.
All right.
And she stopped.
Okay, so last year you decided that she cannot go to the school because you couldn't afford the 3,000 because she's a child with a special need. And your husband, at the time, what was he doing?
She was working with Health Service Workers Union.
Health service. So he's with the Health Service Workers Union, and you are a prisons officer. What did your employers do? Did you alert your employers about the condition of your child?
Not really. That was last year. But when I was in Kumasi, my OIC was aware of the sickness, and because of her condition, that's why I applied for transfer to Accra, Kolobu, up and down.
Okay, so that was very kind of them to bring you closer to the Kolobu Teaching Hospital. But in terms of financial support, the prison service hasn't been able. Have you alerted them?
I alerted them before my husband died. That was when I came here. After the funeral, then I wrote, when the destiny came,
the Golden Heart.
Came.
So you lost your husband how many months ago?
That was 7th of May.
7th of May?
This year.
In the midst of all this, you lost your husband? Right. And so it's been just you and your children?
Yes.
Okay, but none of your children, apart from her, all the other children
they are okay.
They are okay. So it's just Devlin?
Yes.
Okay, so after the burial of your husband, you alerted the prison's service through your boss?
Yes.
And they haven't said anything to you?
No. They said they will help.
Okay.
So I should wait for them.
Okay, but you don't know when? But the surgery has to be done?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to believe the prison service will come through. I believe they are a very sensitive service and they'll come through it. And so tonight, I'm looking for $9,000 for Devlin's surgery. $9,000, about 50,000 Ghana cedis. And I know that there are some very good people out there. And it doesn't matter how much you can give me. If it's 1 cedi, 2 cedis, 5 cedis, all the $9,000, 50,000 cedis, any amount at all that you can contribute towards Devlin's condition will be very much appreciated. She's only 8 years old. She's got her whole future ahead of her. Blindness, hearing impairment, autism cannot stop her dreams. She can be someone really prominent in this country. And so $9,000 is what we have to raise to repair this defect in her heart. And so I'm appealing to all of you to help us. Our offices here are open, GH1 TV. Also, if you want to walk to the National Cardiothoracic Center, please feel free and say you are there to pay for Devlin. Or how do you want how do you want it done?
Okay, whatever they can do, either they send it to or they can
contact you as well.
Yes,
they can contact you as well. So we will make her number available, and that is the only number. If you see the number on only GH1 platform, that is the number, and no other number to take mobile money or Vodafone cash or the Airtel Tigo transfers. All right. So Devlin is not in school at the moment,
yes,
but you wish she were in school.
Yes.
Apart from the special school in Medina, did you inquire at any other special school to put her back in class?
Yes, that was Jowulu, but they said the condition is multiple.
The Jowulu special school, they couldn't take her?
Yes, that she needs special.
She needs extra special attention. Right. Right. And you got this letter from Kolebu exactly on the 25th of July. And have you been able to raise anything since 25th of July 2019?
Small.
How much?
I had 4,000.
4,000 cedis. Well, that's not small. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. We're looking for 50,000 cedis. You have 4,000. That's a lot. I mean, it's a good start. And so we just need to build on. So as you heard from Dorcas, the mother of Devlin, she's been able to raise 4,000 Ghana cedis towards the surgery of her daughter. And so if you can help, I'll be too happy to hear from you. Please call us. If you have to call me personally, I'll be happy to take your call as well. There are so many children like her. Not so many, but you find children like her in a similar condition in this country. As a mother, what kind of support do you expect from the state for children like Devlin?
I think such children, we have to help them. We have to really help them because they have something in them.
Absolutely.
That if they are okay, they can talk like us, hear like us, they will be somebody in future.
Okay, so you need state help.
Yes.
Okay, and as you were going to the hospital with her, who was funding the bills?
I and my husband, we've been taking loans.
You've been taking loans to take care of her. You take loans from who? As the friends?
From the bank.
From the bank?
At times friends. And as I'm speaking now, I don't even have affordability for loan again.
How are you surviving?
By the grace of God.
I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. But something amazing can happen, you know. Ghanaians are very kind. And Devlin will be fine. Devlin will be fine. Okay, so that's Devlin. If you're touched by her story thus far, please help us raise $9,000 to correct the defect in her heart. She's been diagnosed with hole in heart. It's quite a long name here, but basically she has hole in heart. And a letter signed by Professor Frank Edwin of the Cardiothoracic Center, of course, believes that this girl can be fine. He's an expert. He knows his job. And so with $9,000, we can correct this defect in her heart. And so please help us raise $9,000 for Devlin here. And this 4,000 cedis that you've raised, they came from friends, family?
Yes, friends.
Friends. And so since July till now, you've raised 4,000 cedis. And so when this surgery is done, there's another hurdle we need to cross to get her back to school.
Yes.
Which is very important because we know she will live.
Yes.
She will live.
Yes.
But to get her back to school, this special school that you were enrolled her in, do they have any packages? Will they have allowed you to pay it over time? Did they have that?
Yes, they really helped me. I'm even owing them now. They
How
helped
much?
me.
Is that your sister
Yes.
in the background? You owe them 6,000. That's for 2 terms. Okay. And so you were trekking from Kaswa to Medina every day?
No, she was staying with my sister.
She was staying with your sister. Your sister is in Medina?
Yes.
Okay, so she was staying with her. Okay, so you've got a very strong support system.
No, from my family, they are really helping me. They are supporting me.
And your husband's family? Tell me about your husband's family. How are they helping? How are they helping you? How are they helping Devlin, most importantly? How are they helping Devlin?
They are not helping at all.
Are they aware?
They are aware of it. I even went to my in-law, father-in-law, and informed him about the operation. He told me was that's
what he told you?
Yes. He doesn't even know him. He has not seen her before.
Your father-in-law?
Yes.
And your mother-in-law?
She's dead.
Okay, so it's just the father-in-law who's around. And he told you that. So when I also tell about. Okay, we will not focus on him tonight. Another time, after the surgery, when she's fine and she's back in school, we would have time for that conversation. But for now, we're just going to focus on Devlin. I'm going to take a break now. When we come back, we'll focus more on Devlin and other children caught up in similar situations and what, as a country, we can do for them. We'll be right back. Welcome back to State of Affairs on GH1 TV. I am playing host to Devlin Efa York, an 8-year-old child, and her mother, Dorcas York. Devlin was born 90% blind. She has a hearing impairment. Basically, she cannot hear. She goes mute, and she's autistic. And a few months ago, she was diagnosed with hole in heart. And that is why tonight I'm dedicating my show to Devlin to raise $9,000 for her to correct the defect in her heart. On your screen shortly, you see a letter from the National Cardiothoracic Center, a letter signed by Professor Frank Edwin. He's a consultant cardiothoracic surgeon. If you can't see it, I'll read it to you. So, the reference is Devlin Efa York, the 8-year-old that I just mentioned to you. Her date of birth, 16th August 2011. And the diagnosis is a ventricular septal defect with right ventricular outflow tract obstruction. And the letter goes on to say, I'll read, the mother of the above named patient requested that this letter be directed to you. Little Devlin has been seen and evaluated at the cardio center. She suffers from a hole in heart condition known as ventricular septal defect, VSD, with right ventricular outflow tract obstruction. Further management will involve surgery to repair the defect. The cost of the surgery, anesthesia, intensive care and ward stay, etc., is the CD equivalent of $9,000. Kindly direct payment to National Cardiothoracic Center. Yes. And so that's the letter from the National Cardiothoracic Center, directed to anyone who is so concerned by the plight of this 8-year-old girl. This 8-year-old girl who can be president of this country. This 8-year-old girl who can be a CEO. This 8-year-old girl who can be a teacher, a doctor, a nurse. Yes, I love the accompanying sound. Yeah, it's possible. She could be a teacher, a nurse, a journalist, a presenter. She could be anything she wants to be. But unfortunately, she is burdened with a condition, and that condition can be cured. Fortunately, it can be cured. And that is why we are happy and love totally our doctors in this country. And Professor Edwin is tonight assuring us that this defect can be corrected. All we need is $9,000. And since July, when this letter was issued to Dorcas, Devlin's mother, she's been able to raise 4,000 Ghana cedis. And the cedi equivalent of $9,000 is just about 50,000 cedis if we're going by today's rate. And so we need 50,000 cedis. She's raised 4,000, so we need 46,000 cedis more. And I know with your help, we can all raise 46,000 cedis to save Devlin's life. Look at her. Very beautiful child. Very brilliant. If you like to read, if you're inquisitive, there are some successful men and women across the world who were born with autism, and they are doing amazing things across the world. Amazing things. Devlin can be one of those amazing people if we can all help her to live. And I know that Ghanaians are very thoughtful people and we can help. So that's Devlin tonight. I like her name. What does that mean? What is Devlin?
That's Daniel and Evelyn.
Daniel, your husband?
It's Daniel.
It's Daniel, and you are
Dorcas Evelyn.
So Devlin. Oh, I like that. I should take a cue from that one day. That's really nice. Anyway, so let's come back to your daughter here. You absolutely wanted a daughter, didn't you?
Yes, really.
Extremely. And when you had her, you were happy.
Very, very happy. That day, the day I gave birth to her, I didn't sleep.
The happiest day of your life. You had sons, but this was the happiest day of your life. You wanted a daughter.
Yes.
I can imagine. And I know of people I've heard and seen as a reporter, people who've given birth to children with similar conditions. Maybe not as exacerbated as hers is, but maybe autism, and they abandon their children. They're just blind and they abandon their children, or they can't hear only and they abandon their children. And you have a child who has a combination of all of that, and you still kept the child. And I'm so proud of you, and I respect you, and this is why I just decided that tonight's State of Affairs, not just to raise funds for her, but to celebrate your strength as well. You're doing it. Your husband was there supporting you. He passed away, and you're still doing it. You haven't given up. Why? Where do you draw all of this strength from? Where do you draw the strength from? Come for a flower.
I would say it is by the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God. It's God
You
who
want a
has
flower?
strengthened me.
Okay, come back. Maybe I should get her. Okay, so tell us where you draw your strength from. I'll just get her back to her seat. Okay, let's go back. Thank you. Oh, you're so kind, so sweet. Okay, so you can stand here with me. All right. So, so where do you draw your strength from?
As I'm saying, it's by the grace of God.
Right.
I don't know, me cry, I don't even understand. Right, but it is not easy, but what will you do?
Is it your
That's
training
not-
as a prisons officer as well?
Maybe that would be part. That would be part of.
How do your colleagues feel?
No, they feel sorry for me. They feel sorry. At times they say, "Hey, Dorcas, you are strong. You are strong." Because with this problem, you will laugh, you will talk, you will joke, all these things. So what can I do? I have to. I have to.
Yeah.
To help her too.
And her brothers, how do they take all of this?
Oh, at times they feel sad, very sad, especially the one she follows. He likes her so much. He used to disturb her. So when you even talk about it, you say, Mama, stop. That's my only sister. She's my only sister. I love her. It's not easy for them, but they play with her. They cope.
Okay, so now that she's not in school, you're still working, right?
Yes, I'm working.
And of course you have a sister who's helping. But how do you cope? Juggling between the hospital, then work?
When it's
Don't
time,
worry, I'll come for her. Yeah.
when it's time for me to go for review, I ask permission from workside.
And they give you
they
I
give
mean,
me.
the prison service has done well.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
they've been supportive.
Really.
They've been supportive. I mean, you don't always find employers who will support you the way the prison service has.
Yes.
So
my
they've been
in charges, they are doing very good. Back at Kumasi, and this one too.
They understand what you're going
Yes.
through.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. How about church? Where do you fellowship?
At a Baptist church.
How have they supported? Are they aware?
They are aware of it, and they too. They say they will try their best, so they are on it.
Okay. I'm happy that all of these institutions and organizations say they will help, but we just need to remind them that it's quite urgent. Yes. And so if they can double up their steps, we'll be very grateful. Again, we're here tonight celebrating Dorcas York, the mother of the 8-year-old child whom we are raising funds for tonight. Devlin is 8 years old. I know I'm repeating this over and over again, but yes, at the risk of sounding repetitive, Devlin was born 90% blind, so she can see somewhat.
Yes,
That's what it means, right?
With the help of the glasses.
With the help of the glasses.
We we've done operation, we've done surgery of the eye, and they said she needs another operation for the pressure is going up, so she has to be operated again.
Wow. So we need. Actually, I've lost my thoughts. That unsettled me. What was I saying?
Some of the eye, whether she can see.
So she was born 90% blind. She can't hear at all. She can't hear at all. Okay, don't worry. I'll help you. I think she finds that microphone attractive. She's been. Let's come back to our seats, Dublin. I'll give you a beautiful rose flower. Because you're a princess, and every princess deserves a rose flower. Oh. Okay, let me take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to State of Affairs. We had to take a break because we had a little confusion, but we are back. This is Dublin. She's 8 years old. Dublin was born 90% blind. She can't hear. She goes mute, and she's autistic as well. And a few months ago, she was diagnosed with hole in heart. And tonight, I'm here to appeal to you to help us raise $9,000 for her. The equivalent of that in cedis is 50,000 cedis. Her mother has been able to raise 4,000 Ghana cedis, so we need 46,000 cedis more. And I want to believe that you can help me raise that money for her. Her mother, strong woman. I don't think you know how strong you are, do you?
I don't know how to.
You don't know how strong you are, do you? I don't think you're aware of how strong you are. Right?
Yes.
Okay, Dublin, sit down. Write something, anything. And so after the surgery, you can be assured that I'll come back to raise another appeal for funds for her to go back to school. But no, now, let's cross this hurdle to get the defect in her heart corrected. As I've been telling you from the beginning of the show, this is a letter from the Cardiothoracic Center. Can you help me, cameraman? From the Cardiothoracic Center, that's the letter on your screen right now. We're looking for money to correct the condition. She has hole in heart. She's 8 years old. So please help me. I am begging for you to help me. Please come to Dublin's aid. I know with your help we can raise it. To make matters worse, Dublin lost her father in May. Was it in May? Dublin lost her father in May 2019. And so it's just the mother, you know, it's just the mother. So please, let's help a mother who didn't even think of abandoning her child. As you can see, Dublin is such a beautiful girl. She's blessed. She's alive. And God being so great, we have the likes of Professor Frank Edwin at the Cardiothoracic Center who can save her life. So let's help Dublin with 46,000 cedis. Let's help her mother. Let's take some of the burden off her shoulders. She absolutely needs it. You're seeing her now. Are you able to, have you been able to grieve at all? Have you been able to mourn your husband's loss at all?
Yes.
And it's not just her we are celebrating tonight. Her family as well has been super supportive. Her sister, what's your sister's name?
Phoebe Kobna, alias Aba.
Oh yeah, she's Aba. No wonder she's so kind. And her sister has been very, what does she do?
She's a hairdresser.
She's a hairdresser, so she takes time off to take care of Devlin for you. And Dorcas, Devlin's mother, is a prisons officer. And also a big thank you to the prison service for the support they've given to Dorcas, giving her time off to take care of the child, transferring her to Accra so she can be closer to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The prison service, if we ever said anything bad about you in the past, we are sorry. You've been super supportive, and I love my hat off to you. But most importantly, let's save this little girl. You know, she needs it. And for your husband's family, so it's just his father who's alive now. It's just your father-in-law who's around now. What does he do?
He's a pensioner.
Okay.
He's in the house.
Oh, so there isn't much he can do, right? He has money. He has money, but he's abandoned you. You feel abandoned by his family.
That's what I can say. But his little brother is doing very well.
So his brother has been helpful. Okay, your brother-in-law has been very helpful. What does he do?
He's a mechanic.
He's a mechanic, but he's helping.
Having his own family, but
he's been supportive. Thank God for good people.
Christopher York.
Christopher York. Bless you, Christopher York. Thank you so much for what you're doing for Devlin here. And Devlin's brothers as well. They'll see her on TV tonight. I'm sure they'll be very happy, and they will keep their fingers crossed just like all of us, hoping that something will come through from all of us to help Devlin tonight. What will be your final words as I prepare to wrap up the show?
Okay, what I will say is I'm appealing with the general public to come and help me for the surgery. I cannot afford it alone, so they should help me.
Right. Yeah. Anyway. She looks happy. Is she always happy? She looks like a cat on a tin roof.
Yeah,
very bubbly.
Jumping,
she jumps around. She's bubbly. She's exciting. Yeah. Puts a smile on your face.
At times too, she used to cry.
Well, like every child. Even adults, we cry, don't we? Yeah. Even adults.
And she doesn't sleep at night.
Yeah?
She's nocturnal. Only in the morning around.
She's nocturnal. Yeah. She's nocturnal. There are people like that. Yeah. Anyway, okay. She finds my nails interesting. Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway, so $9,000, 50,000 cedis. That is what I'm coming to you with to help us raise this money for her. We're going to put an official number out on all our pages. Also, we will put it on TV later. If you want to contribute, no matter the amount, please, no matter the amount, whether it's 1 cedi, whether it's 2 cedis, 5,000, 10,000, all the 46,000, we will be happy. If you don't have the money, you can also support with prayers and spread the word to people who can help us. We will be eternally grateful to you for saving Devlin's life. Thank you so much for watching the show. My name is Aba Anamoah, wrapping up with Devlin York tonight, an 8-year-old who was born 90% blind. She can't hear, she's mute, and she's autistic. We can't allow Whole in Heart to take her away from us. Let's save her. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good night.